So, hi everyone. So now that we're in the interview portion,
This, in fact, was not the interview portion. This was InterPsy. Episode 2!
um, I'd just like to introduce Archdruid Mari of Adventures Anonymous.
Hello! Hi there, Yvonne. Thank you so much for having me. Yep, I'm Arctur Mary from Adventures Anonymous Manila. So, Adventures Anonymous Manila is an events group. We've been organizing events for past few years, I think since 2018 or 2017. It all started when we were invited to host Dungeons and Dragons in a big event that was, I think, in Mega Mall before, in one of the Mega Trade Halls. And ever since then, we've been running various Dungeons and Dragons events. Our biggest events are our Halloween event, which is called Turn Undead, and then our yearly event called Epicenter, which has now been called Epicenter because it's because it's like it's online dash Epicenter. It's a pun. We like puns and naming things that are related to D&D. So yeah, those are like our biggest events. From big events in person, we have now been running events online.
So,
Yes.
what do you think makes the hobby of playing D&D and just any other TTRPG so special for people?
I think one of the special things about playing TRPGs or D&D is because there is a TRPG for everybody. And I say that because there's just so many games out there. So if you really want to feel like a power fantasy, you want to feel like a hero, you want to be powerful, you want to cast spells and all of that, like you have Dungeons and Dragons. And if you want to experience like a different genre or you want to have a different setting, you have those options for you. And the best thing about it is that you don't have to play as yourself. Like, you don't have to just be like, oh, I'm this college student and I just go, like, I go up 17 flights of stairs or whatever. Like, you could be like the strongest or like whoever you want to play as. Like, you can play as a wizard who casts spells and has a magic cat that talks. Like, it's like the possibilities are infinite, and the fun part there is that like compared to some video games where you play alone, like you're in front of a screen, like in Dungeons and Dragons, you get to play with your friends, and that's the best part about it, is you get to collaborate with your friends and writing a story that works for you and works for them at the same time, and it just gives you various experiences, like a lot of things that you would never do in real life, like you could do in a TRPG. So that's the fun part of it. It's like if you've ever like wanted to save lives or in game go to like a onsen scene like you see in anime, like you could do that. Like, that's a legit thing that people do, and it's a lot of fun. No, but it's like, oh, we're gonna like have this one episode where we bond in an onsen and we're gonna talk about our feelings and develop the party dynamics
It's
and
a
like get more
collaborative game.
personal. Exactly. It's like anything, like everything you've seen in anime, like, yeah, do it in, or like in like your favorite TV series. Like, you wanna have an Umbrella Academy TRPG. Well, look, we have it for you. Anything you want, you can express it. If there are things you can't express in real life, um, or there are things that you're not comfortable with sharing in real life, you can use the RPGs as an avenue for that, like to really express yourself. Because like I know people who are not very comfortable with sharing things about themselves, but you get to know them better based on the characters that they play and how they express themselves in the TRPG is something that I've learned. Oh yeah, like I just love the experience. It's a lot of fun. I I get to experience what we call bleed, which is this thing wherein like if something really really good happens in a TRPG and then you're just like overwhelmingly happy after a session because it's like, oh my god, I killed the BBEG, or I did really well in that social encounter. I had like a snappy comeback that like, you know, like everybody was like, damn son. um so that like makes me really happy. And then there are also sessions wherein like, oh my god, like that made me really cry, or like that was like such an emotionally moving moment, or I was or like I really hated that NPC and I'm really going to hate that NPC for like the next few days. Or you know, I actually feel these feelings afterwards, so it feels so real sometimes. And that's like one of the good slash bad things about the RPGs, is that you get these feelings and you can help each other work around those feelings that you have after a session.
Yeah, like, I can't can't agree with you more. Like it's absolutely amazing. Like I'm sure you as an experienced player and dungeon master, I have seen yourself or even your players like their own personal well-being, like them as
Yeah.
people improve throughout the game.
Definitely. So me, like I started off like in D&D like 4 years ago. Honestly, that was the first time I played TRPGs back in 2017, and you know I was still in college. So a lot of my problems and a lot of my characters like had the same problems as I would, and that was something that I realized like when I made my first character. Like when I was writing her, I was like, this is gonna be so complex and it's gonna be like the funnest thing ever. I'm gonna be so creative. And it was like, I know, because it's like my first character. I was like, I'm gonna pour all of my thoughts, my hopes, and my dreams into you. And it's just like as I grow as a person, I've also realized that my characters grow with me. So a lot of the problems that I've had before that I wasn't mature enough to handle, and that my characters were facing at the same time, was something that got developed. And you know, over the years as I mature, I realized like, oh, this is what I should do as a character as well. So you really develop that through the RPGs, because you also get a variety of experiences, because it's like a simulation, right? Like what would you do or what would you say in this moment given this personality? So you learn a lot with the RPGs, but you also learn a lot with the people you play with, because the people that I play with, like I started off playing with my college friends, and then we branched off and we started playing with people who are a lot older than us. So like I play with people who are like 9 years older than me, so they're a lot more mature, and you know they have a lot more experiences in life. And you don't just learn through the TRPG, but you also learn from the people that you play with. And I think it's really important that you have people who can help you grow with that. Because you know, if you keep on playing the same way that you have for the past few years, or if you know a lot of the thoughts that you have, or your goals, or things about you are challenged, if they are challenged, like you get to learn more about yourself as a person, compared to if everybody just said like, yeah, sure, go, like, you know, go crazy, and like people just kept enforcing that, then you're just going to stay the same. And I think it's really important that you have people who are willing to challenge you and willing to help you grow. And I think that's really important, because it really you get to be with people who just want um, who just want to see you grow and be a better person. And you know, at the end of the day, you're a group of friends who are playing together and sharing a wonderful experience. That you know, like yes, you might not be able to like do this in real life, but you also learn a lot about issues because in TRPGs, you get to have like social issues that you don't normally address in day-to-day life, or political issues, like if you're really really mad at the government, for example, like you can express your anger in a TRPG. Or if you have things that you're going through, or if there are um, characters that you have that are going through something, and or if you're going through that something at the same time, like a lot of grief that you could be experiencing, like TRPGs, as I've learned, can help you deal with that. But there are also times where it might be overwhelming, and you might need to take a step back, or you might learn things about yourself that I didn't really think that this would upset me, but like experiencing this now in the TRPG, I realize that it's upsetting, and I realize that I don't like it. So you learn good things about yourself, but you also start to learn things that you didn't think would bother you before.
Yeah, like it's very empathy based.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to care about the people. You as you play a different character, you have to show. You have to act out a certain way, so you start to understand how people like your character would act, even though you're not necessarily that character. For other, all of your friends who are also playing different characters, they learn that same concept as well, and when you see the characters that they're trying to portray, you kind of understand that more. And then that's just in game. Outside of game, it's the exact same way. The way they're trying to express the different problems or struggles they've gone through the game. It's again, you learn so much from understanding each other. And when you play it out in a fantasy setting, it becomes a lot easier to manage, and that's the beauty of it. And it's this where it's that beautiful concept of empathy where I kind of want to ask, is there a specific instance you can name where you've seen this community come together to support one another before?
Yeah, I actually really love this question because a few years ago, back in 2019, one of my really good friends who I was playing D&D with like every week, he found out that he had cancer. So that was really devastating, and it was really sad, and we didn't know how we could help him because once you have cancer, it's one of those like really serious things that it could be how do I say this? It could get really dangerous. So one of the things that happened was one of our AA members, him and a friend started an event called Dudes versus Cancer, where they raise money for our friend for his cancer treatment. We also held an event with Adventures Anonymous to raise money. And another thing there is that another group also held an event where they also raised money for that friend of ours who had cancer. So these were people who were donating money that had no idea who our friend was. Like they knew us, and that we just wanted to raise money for a friend and his cancer treatment. There were people who had a similar experience where they also had cancer, but they were able to get treatment for it, and like seeing how we also had this friend, they wanted to help out, so they also helped raise money. So a lot of people that we didn't know, a lot of people that we weren't close with, or people who were just hearing us out, like in an event, or like we were dedicating a Dungeons and Dragons event for our friend, because Dungeons and Dragons does allow you to make a charity out of your event, even in Adventurers League, wherein we charge people for rerolls, or we charge people an entrance fee, or we just had a donation drive. Like we had a box, and it's like, if you wanna just give money, just like you could just drop it here. And we got a lot of money from that we gave to our friend. And I'm very happy to say that our friend was able to get all the cancer treatments, and he's now cancer free. So I'm happy that he's alive, and I really love this friend a lot. We don't play as much anymore, but it's one of those things that like a community of people. Like it wasn't like just the D&D community, because like the Dungeons and Dragons community is overwhelmingly amazing. We have a lot of charities that we've had through various events. Like it's not just like Adventures Anonymous Manila events. That help support a lot of charities. Like it's amazing how the RPGs can support charities. So if anybody ever tells you that you're just playing a hobby, like you're not helping anybody, mind you, you can, and it's possible, and you can help people. And that was really amazing. And it's just like, it's not just the charity that we help, but it was my friend who had cancer that people from the RPGs helped with and donated money to, and we were just so happy about that.
Oh my god, like my heart is so soft. I'm so happy for your friend. Congratulations, by the way. And that's incredible.
I know, so I'm very happy. It was really a nice experience, because like my friends from the other group, like they were like, here's the money we raised, and they gave me the envelope, and I was like, you know, Pikachu face surprised, and I was really happy that, you know, we were just like, you know, a lot of people who just don't know are willing to support this kind of thing.
Well, for my last question, and originally I was gonna say, are there any programs you know of that serve mental health that you want to give a shout out to? But if you want to make this encompassing of any other thing, you can. Is there anything you want to shout out?
Right now, when I was thinking about this, it's like, I know that. Wait, hold on. I actually have this problem right now, because there is a mental health charity that I was looking at, but I think right now, we do have. There is a charity bundle that's out for D&D right now. It's for the Trevor Project, so people could support that. There are a lot of charity bundles that that support various charities for D&D. Right now, we currently don't have a charity that supports mental health, but I think I'll have to. The thing is, I was supposed to say what it was, but right now I'm blanking out, and I think I need to get help for it. So I think I have to get back to you on that, or like we could just cut it and like I could just like support this charity here.
It'll be linked somewhere down here or something.
Yes, exactly. So mental health is important. Man, I know that there's one that I was going to say. It was related to depression, because, you know, that's one of the biggest things. I think it's just really important, especially now with work from home, people not being able to go outside. Like, mental health is just super important right now. And just make sure, get help. No matter what, just get help.
Yeah.
I think that's like the most important thing. Don't be afraid to reach out. And like, you know, it's hard to take care of yourself these days, especially when you're alone or you're just at home and you can't see your friends. Like I know video calls aren't enough. Like it's great to like see you on video. But it's also just really different to like be at an actual table with your friends and like laughing with them. It's just, I miss in-person games so much. Like I've been bothering my friends to be like, once we're vaccinated, let's play a game. We have to be vaccinated first.
I'm waiting to get vaccinated just so I can see my friend.
Right?
Yeah,
like that's like the biggest motivator. Get vaccinated, play D&D with your friends in real life. There's a TRPG. Like if you want to feel great, like D&D is for you because it's a power fantasy. If you want to figure out like, you know, Oblivion, you could play Call of Cthulhu. If you want to, you know, play as a group of people who are rogues, just an entire party of rogues. There's a game called Play It in the Dark. Like if you wanna, I don't know, like there are so many games that are just out right now, and I have friends who are actually legit TRPG designers, and they are publishing games also on itch. So support your indie developers too, because they create great games where like you can play as a plant and you can like go out and be a sorcerer plant. So nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Like I play in a game where we're demigods. So if you have a Percy Jackson fantasy, you can do it. Anything is possible. Live your dreams.
Yeah, I was once a Chinese Logan Paul monk, and he came out of the chap. He wrote scrolls, and
Yeah.
His rival was Kasui of the Setumen.
But you know what I love about D&D is that like I've met a lot of characters who are joke characters, wherein like they are what do you call this? Like they are sketches of like a personality.
Caricatures, yeah.
And then like yeah, the caricatures, sorry, yeah, they're caricatures of a certain personality. And then they start off as a joke character and then they end up being like the most serious character by the end of it, because like then you have backstory and now I gave you something to care about and to cry about, and now they're like, I must do this for my friend who passed away, and then now they're like this whole thing. So it's like you really develop a lot that you think was a joke turns out to get really serious, and you get a lot of feelings from it.
Yeah, you can be like that too. I say to the audience.
I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say anything about those joke characters because it might be an issue.
Yeah, we're so off topic. I'm so sorry to our
It's okay. I think it's fun. Like D&D is like really fun. It helped me through a lot of my issues as somebody with mental health as well. It's like I've been through a lot with D&D, both like in game and with my party itself, because you get to resolve some of your issues. You find that you have issues with certain things, and it's just really I think one of the things that I would like to get included in the video is also that your mental health is important, no matter what happens at the table. So if you need to take a step back, like if you need a few moments of your time to take a breather from what's happening in game, just do it. Like I've been to mental health talks related to RPGs, and one of the things that like I would recommend and that they recommend is that like you can take a step back and just like you don't need to ask for permission, you don't need to like get validation from anybody. Like if you need to take that moment, you can stand up, just like take a breather, do what you need to do to make yourself okay. And it's really important also for mental health that everybody has safety checklists or safety tools that they have on the table, whether it's just asking your players if they're comfortable with certain topics, or really going into the gritty and like having like those options like an X card, that they can skip a scene, or this scene just didn't happen because a lot of people go through different things, and it's just really important that we have those options, just for our safety, because TRPGs can get really personal, because like when you make a character, like your character could be really important to you, and they could be your baby, and you don't want, like, as much as bad things happen to you in game, there are just certain topics that could be traumatic, or there are just certain topics that you just are not comfortable with, and um you're allowed to feel that way, and your feelings are valid, and you know, just let your DM know, because your DM should be prioritizing your safety also. And I think it's really important when you're DMing D&D or any TRPG is that this is a collaborative story, and one of the biggest things is to respect one another, and to make sure that everybody at the end of the day is having fun no matter what they're feeling.
Absolutely. It's empathy and just make it collaborating. You're playing with people. You should care about how everyone feels.
Yeah.
With that, I I think that I actually told Mari that this interview would be 10 minutes most. And
Where
now
are we?
I think we've reached a 30 to possibly 35-minute mark. And you know
Well,
what?
you're gonna cut down the fat on that.
I'll
You
cut down.
have a lot of like whatevers.
Yeah, cut down the fat, and I was considering separating interviews from main videos and just uploading both the full interviews and like the videos like beside each other anyway. And like my editors were like, "Are you sure about that? Are you sure about it?" But I think this is the longest interview I've ever held, and I think that this also gives me a pretty solid case to tell my editors, yeah, we should just separate those. Add music in the background of this, make it its own entire series. Yeah.
I don't know what music you're playing. But no, I get really like I know that we went off tangent, but like at the end of the day, I really love RPGs. I encourage a lot of people to play it. Like if you ever get the chance to play a TRPG, try it out. Make a character, you could make your own character. I know people who have isekai'd themselves into D&D. Like they make themselves as a character and they live as a paladin or as a wizard. It's like their personality in a character, and it gets really interesting and it gets really personal. Like I just love the game so much, and I've made a lot of friends through TRPGs, and I've learned a lot about myself and other people through this hobby, because you learn a lot about each other, and you just help one another. And like when people are going through tough times, like sometimes like the way that they want to cope with some of their issues is through TRPGs. Like I know that we shouldn't have escapism. Like you shouldn't just like use D&D as a crutch, or in like I don't want my life, I'm gonna go play TRPG. It's like no. It should be like if you're going through something, it can be there for you to make yourself feel better, but it's still really better that you seek help, but just know that like your friends are there for you, and that you can have fun in a game.
With that, thank you so much, Mari, for coming here. It's been a really pleasurable interview. It was so fun.
Yes, I also had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you ever want to reach out for like anything TRPG related, like if you need like to get redirected somewhere, TRPGs or like D&D in general, feel free to reach out to Adventures Anonymous Manila, or you can reach out to me. It's Marielle Ko. I mean, I'm just there. Like I've become a help desk for like, oh, you need D&D, go here. We also have a Discord if people want to hang there. It's just there to exist. We have events.
Linked.
All will be linked down below, just like charity. It's embarrassing.
Thank you, Mari.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you. Links below for the charity, whatever. Like the charity is like down below. Support it, for mental health.
I don't know who's editing this right now, but it's gone so. You can just like
I'm so
do a
sorry,
time
editor.
lapse of how long we're just talking in this mind until we just yeah.
Yeah, link down below. Mental health. It's great. Take care of it.